Good morning, I am Kiran Raj. Welcome to the online classes on data structure. Today we are going to discuss about the topic control structures. While coming to the control structures or type of the logic or the flow control, we are going to have three classification. The first one is sequential logic or sequential flow. The second one is selection logic or the conditional flow. The third one is iteration logic or repetitive flow. While coming to the sequence logic, the modules are executed in sequence one after the another. In selection logic or the conditional flow, depending on the condition or depending on the decision, we are going to execute the module. So we can have several modules can be present. On when you have the several modules, we are going to choose one module and execute that depending on the condition. While coming to the iteration logic or the repetitive flow, it is used when you want to execute the module again and again. That time we are going to use the repetitive logic or repetitive flow or the iteration logic. First, let us see the sequence logic or the sequential flow. As I already mentioned, the modules are going to be executed in sequence. What do you mean by sequence? One after the another. First, the first module is executed, then the second module, then the third module, then the fourth module, then the fifth module. So while coming to here, sequence is presented in either in numbered step, that is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 like that, or you can order the modules how it is going to be written also. Anything is fine. Either you can write as it is shown here, either you can write step 1 module A, step 2 module B, step 3 module C, that is in the numbered step format. So you can mention that first you are going to execute step 1, step 2 and step 3, step 4 like that. Or since it is continuous execution or the sequential execution, you can skip the step part and you can just write module A, module B and module C, that is mentioned here. Order in which modules are written, and the flow chart you are going to execute the module A first, then the module B, then the module C and so on. Sequence logic or the sequential flow, the modules are executed in the sequential manner or the continuous manner. Next is selection logic or the conditional flow. Here depending on the condition you are going to execute the module. We can have several modules can be present, but you are going to choose one out of the several modules and you are going to execute that. Here the structure of the selection logic is implemented using the conditional structure or it is implemented using the if structure. Always your conditional logic or selection logic, it will start with if structure. So ending will be also end of if structure. The selection logic or the conditional flow, it is having the if structure, and if structure can be of three types, that is single alternative, double alternative and multiple alternative. Single alternative, so left side represents the algorithm and the right side represents the flow chart. While coming to the selection logic, it will be started with the if structure. So if you see the algorithm here, it is starting with the if condition, that is if structure, and ending of the selection logic is by the end of if structure. While coming to the single alternative, for the if structure you are only going to have single module, and if the condition is true, if condition is true, you are going to execute that particular module. If the condition is false, then you are not going to execute that particular module. You are directly going to come out of the structure. So if condition, then module A, end of if structure. So if the condition is true, then you are going to execute the module A. But if the condition is false, then you are directly coming out of the if structure. Condition, if it is true, then you are going to execute the module A, then it will move out of the structure. If it is false, then it is directly going to coming out of the if structure. Next is double alternative. Double, that means 2. Here the if condition or if structure is going to have 2 modules. One is for the true and another one is for the false. Depending on the condition, so your module algorithm is if condition, then module A, else module B, end of if structure. If the condition is true, then the module A is executed, but if the condition is false, then the module B will be executed. Okay, condition, if it is true, module A will be executing, then it will coming out of the structure. If the condition is false, then module B will be executed and then it will come out of the structure. Multiple alternatives. So while coming to multiple alternatives, it is saying that inside the if structure, you are going to have multiple modules. How many modules you are going to execute here also? Here also you are going to execute only one module. In multiple alternatives, we are going to have the multiple conditions also. See the algorithm here, how the structure is going to be starting. Structure will be started with the if structure and the ending will be with the end of if structure. If condition 1 is true, then the module A1 will be executed. If the condition 1 is false, then it is going to check the condition true. If it is true, then the module A2 will be executed. Let us say that condition 2 is true. That means module A2 will be executed and then it will directly come out of the if structure. Now let us say that this is not true. Then what will happen? It keeps on checking the next condition. Let us say that it checks condition M. If this is true, then it is going to execute module AM and come out of the loop. If that is not the case, that is, if every condition is false, then it is going to execute else. That is, it is going to execute module B and it will going to come out of the if structure. See the flowchart here, condition 1, if it is true, module A1 will be executed, then it is going to come out of the structure. If it is false, condition 2 will be checked and if it is true, module A2 will be executed and then it will come out of the structure. If condition 2 is false, then condition M will be checked. If it is true, module A1 AM will be executed and it is going to come out of the if structure. If all the conditions are false, then module B is going to be executed and it will come out of the structure. Sequence logic, you are going to execute the every modules in the sequence or in the continuous format. While coming to the selection logic or condition, depending on the condition, you are going to execute the one out of the several alternative model. If structure will be of 3 types: single alternative, double alternative and multiple alternative. Next, let us go for the iteration logic or the repetitive flow. As I already mentioned, the iterative logic or the repetitive flow, it is used when you want to execute particular module again and again number of times, then you are going to use the repetitive flow or the iteration logic. Iteration logic is going to start with repeat statement and you are going to have the module. That module is called as body of loop. End of structure will be end of loop. It is of two types. One is repeat for loop and another one is repeat while loop, because loops can be done by two methods. One is using the for loop and another one is by while loop. First let us see repeat for loop. If you remember the for loop syntax will be for I is equal to 0, I lesser than n, I plus plus, where first one is initialization, that is I is initialized to any number. In the example I have given, I have initialized it to 0. Next is condition, that is I lesser than or equal to n or greater than n, that is a condition which you want to check to repeat the loop. The last one is incrementation or the decrementation. So if you see the for loop here, the main importance is given to I, that is index, or it is going to control the loop. It is going to start with the repeat, then if it is while, then repeat while, if it is for, then repeat for. K is equal to R. Here K is the index, K is equal to R. I am initializing K is equal to R to S. So I am mentioning the end condition or the test value. By T, what is T? Incrementation, whether I am going to do +1, whether I am going to +2, whether I am going to +3, something like that, or whether I am going to decrement -1, -2, -3, like that. So if I have to say here in the programming thing, then I can make it for K is equal to R, K lesser than or equal to S, K is equal to K plus T. So initial value, that is R, end and test value, that is S, and increment T. Afterwards you are going to followed by the module and end of the loop. Module is going to be executed again and again until the condition becomes false, until K becomes greater than S. Afterwards, as soon as the condition becomes false, it is going to come out of the loop. See here, K is equal to R, I am initializing. Afterwards, I am having the condition whether K is greater than or equal to S. If it is no, that is K is lesser than S, so that means I can proceed, right? If it is lesser than S, then I am going to execute the module of the loop. Afterwards, what I am going to do? Afterwards, I have to increment. Increment by what? Increment by T. Again, I am going back to check the condition. Either you can use this condition, or in the previous years we have learned that for loop can be written in this format also, where I can write K is equal to R, comma K greater than S, K plus T. Now as soon as this condition becomes true, it will come out. Okay, that means if I am writing the lesser than or equal to, then as soon as the condition becomes false, then I am going to come out, right? Okay. Next is repeat while. While coming to for loop, index played the role in controlling the loop. But while coming to the repeat while loop, condition plays the role in controlling the while loop. Okay. Repeat while condition, module, end of the loop. So, as soon as the condition becomes false, while condition becomes false, it is going to come out of the loop. So condition, if it is true, body of the loop, that is module, is going to be executed. As soon as it gets false, then it is going to come out of the loop. This algorithm is already explained in the previous video, where we have used for loop to get the maximum value of the array element. I want to find the maximum element in the array whose name is data, and I want to print the maximum element and the location. So let us solve this. Let us try to solve this problem. I will initialize k is equal to r, that is k is equal to 1, and I will again initialize lock is equal to 1 and max is equal to data of 1, that is data of k, data of 1, that is 10. Afterwards, I am going to increment k value to 2. Now let me check the condition whether the k is greater than n. Here n will be 4. Whether 2 is greater than 4? No. I am going to check or compare the data of k. Data of k is what? Data of k is 30 with the max value. If the data of k is greater than max, then what I have to do? I have to interchange them, right? So data of k is data of 2, data of 2 is 30. 30 is greater than max. So I am going to change the max value to 30 and the location value will be also changed to 2. Next I am going to increment the k value. K value will be incremented to 3. So data of 3 is 20. Whether 20 is greater than max? No. So lock and max, they are going to stay as it is. Laterwards I am going to increment k. K is equal to 4. Now let me check data of k, that is data of 4, 40 with the max value. 40 is greater than 30. I have to exchange the value. Max is equal to 40. And what is the location value? Location value will be changed to 4. Next I am going to increment k value. K value is 5. But what about condition? K should be lesser than or equal to n. N value was 4. Condition false. Come out of the loop. Print location and max. Let me write this small program also. For k is equal to 1, k lesser than or equal to n, k plus plus. Why it is done? Because I have to check it for all the elements in here. I am using the for loop. Now I have to check the 2 elements, right? That is, one is with the max and another one is with the data of k. If condition. If or data of k is greater than max, then what I have to do? I have to exchange them. Max is equal to data of k, and I have to change the lock value also. Lock is equal to k. This is with the for loop. But let me say that I want to use it with the while. Then how to do that? Your if condition and exchanging of the values, it will remain same. But what I have to do? I have to only change this one. While k is lesser than or equal to n. But I have to increment somewhere. Increment to the k value. So k is equal to k plus plus, or I can write it as k plus t also. I have to initialize that. K is equal to 1. So let me show how to write the algorithm also. Algorithm will always start with the identification number. Since this is your third algorithm in the chapter 2, I am writing it as algorithm 2.3. Algorithm always has two parts. One is implementation thing, and another one is description. So in the description you are going to describe the algorithm or what is happening in the algorithm. And we are always assuming that data is already provided. Okay, given non-empty array, non-empty array, that means you are also mentioning I already have the array and it is non-empty, that means it has certain values. Array name data with n elements. So indirectly what I am mentioning? I am mentioning it has n elements. Size of the element or size of the data array is n. You have to mention what you are going to do. In this algorithm, we will find maximum element max, and you have to print the location also. Location lock. Algorithm will be always started with the step 1. You should have the colon symbol here. While coming to step 1, what is done in the step 1? You have to initialize that. Initialize the index value, right? So set k, all the variables will be in capital letter, set colon, and then equal to. When you want to initialize something, then we are going to use colon and equal to 1, comma. You have to initialize the lock value also. Lock, again capital letters, lock is equal to 1, initial condition, and max. What is the initial value of max? First element of the array is the initial value of max, is equal to data of k. Statement you are initializing. Next, let us go for the second step. Step 2. If you remember the while statement which I have used, after the initialization, what we have done? We have directly applied the while condition. So let us start that. While condition will always start, or iteration logic, it will start with the repeat while condition. What is the condition? While k is lesser than or equal to n, then when you are writing in the paper lesser than or equal to, it will be written lesser than symbol and with dash below the lesser than symbol. Greater than or equal to also greater than symbol, then below the greater than dash symbol, that represents equal to. If the condition is true, then we have to use the if structure. If data, always it should be in capital letter, data of k is lesser than max, then I have to make the exchange. It will be max is equal to, how the assignment is done, colon and equal to is equal to data of k. I have to change the lock value also, and lock is equal assignment, that is colon and equal to k. That is the end of if structure. So I have to write end of if structure. Again, that is the end of loop, right? So end of, either I can write loop or I can write while loop. Then comes the step 3. I have to print, right, lock, comma, or and max. You have to come out. I'll write exit. If you remember the previous video, exit represents coming out of the algorithm or coming out of the program. Either I can write it in the same line, or I can create the another step, that is step 4, exit, and I will write the comment also. Display output. Now I'm having only two things, so I'll write remove the comma and I'll have and. Let us see this line. Step 2. Repeat y k lesser than or equal to n, then I'm going to repeat them. These three lines, if data is k lesser than max, then set max data of k log k end of if structure, that is going to be repeated again and again. I have to mention repeat what, right? So let me use that. I'll make it step 3. Even though they are the part of while, I'll make the if condition separate step. Then this step will become step 4 and this will become step 5. Now I can write repeat step 3 while k is lesser than or equal to n, then, but I have to increment the k value, right? After this set k is equal to or assigning k 1, k plus 1. That time this will become different step. Step 4, step 5, step 6. Now repeat step 3 and step 4. So this is how the algorithm is written. You have to know the logic, then you can write the algorithm very easily. Thank you.